After the massacre, Earth awakened. No mercy, no surrender. The sky over New Chicago was a strange mix of red and black. Smoke climbed like dark fingers from the shattered buildings, and fire burned in the streets. Sirens had long stopped wailing, replaced by an eerie silence that pressed on the survivors' hearts. Ethan Hayes ran through the rubble, his lungs burning, his eyes stinging from the ash that filled the air. He could hear the distant screams of those who had not escaped, but the sound only pushed him forward. Somewhere in the chaos, somewhere beyond the ruined skyline, he had to find someone he could trust. Ethan had been a firefighter once, before the world ended. He had saved people from burning buildings, from floods, from accidents he never wanted to remember. But nothing had prepared him for this. Nothing had prepared anyone. The Zyrathians had come from the stars, their ships dark and smooth, their weapons capable of wiping out entire blocks in seconds. People had called them invaders, monsters, gods of war. But it did not matter what words humans used. What mattered was survival. He ducked under a fallen beam and pressed his back to the wall of a broken building. Flames licked the edges of the concrete, and the heat made him sweat under his jacket. He could hear the metal shriek as alien machines walked through the streets, scanning, hunting, killing. Ethan's hand shook as he pulled a small pistol from his belt. It was nothing compared to the weapons the aliens carried, but it was all he had. Then he saw her. A young woman, no older than 28, crouched near a burned-out car. She had a laptop bag slung over her shoulder, and wires dangled from it. She looked at him with wide eyes, fear and determination mixed together. Are you human?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Yes," Ethan said, lowering his gun slightly. "I'm human." "Who are you?" "Maya Thompson," she said. "Engineer." "I was trying to salvage some tech from the old research lab before they hit us." She nodded toward the horizon where smoke still rose from the city. You need to move. They'll see you if you stay here." Ethan glanced back at the streets, empty, except for the alien patrols. "I know a place." "Not far. We can hide there for now." Maya nodded, and together they ran, jumping over broken cars and slipping through alleys filled with rubble. The city around them looked like a graveyard. Buildings were twisted and blackened. Windows were gone, replaced by fire and smoke. The ground was littered with personal things, shoes, books, toys, and sometimes bodies. Ethan tried not to look, tried to focus on moving forward, but the sight of human bodies lying still made him grit his teeth. Rage bubbled inside him. How could anyone do this? How could anyone destroy so much life? They reached an abandoned apartment building that had somehow avoided the worst of the blasts. The door was half off its hinges, and dust fell from the ceiling as they entered. Inside, the air was cooler, quieter, and safer, for now. Maya set her bag down and opened it carefully. Inside were small gadgets, wires, and pieces of broken electronics. "I was working on a communication system," she said, her hands trembling slightly as she sorted through the pieces. "Something that could pick up signals beyond this city, maybe even outside Earth. But the attack, it destroyed most of my work." Ethan leaned against the wall, catching his breath. "We'll figure it out," he said. "We have to. If we don't fight back, we're finished." Maya looked at him, her eyes wide. "Fight back?"
"Ethan, we're just two people."
"How can we fight them? They have ships, weapons we've never seen. They can destroy entire blocks in seconds." Ethan's hands tightened around his pistol. "Then we find others. We survive, we learn. And when the time comes, we fight. Humans always fight. We adapt. We don't give up." For a moment, the two of them sat in silence, listening to the distant sounds of destruction. Then a sound came closer. Footsteps, human footsteps. A man appeared in the doorway, tall, with a military jacket torn and blackened from smoke. His face was grim, but there was recognition in his eyes. "Lucas Grant," Ethan said quietly, standing up. "Ethan Hayes," Lucas said, nodding. "And you brought company." His eyes landed on Maya. "Who's this?" Maya Thompson, engineer. Trying to survive, Ethan explained. Lucas looked at her carefully, then nodded.
Good. We need every person we can get.
Follow me. There's a safe house outside the city. Few people know about it. The three of them left the ruined apartment and moved through back streets, avoiding main roads. Along the way, they saw the horror the Zyrathians had left behind. Cars were burned and overturned. Some buildings were nothing but piles of rubble. Occasionally, a distant explosion reminded them that the aliens were still hunting, still killing. Finally, they reached a small bunker hidden in the woods. The door was heavy metal, reinforced long ago. Lucas punched a code, and it opened with a grinding sound. Inside, it was dimly lit, but spacious. There were cots, food supplies, water, and even old medical kits. It smelled of dust and cold metal, but it was a safe place. Ethan sank onto a cot, exhausted. It's been days since the first strike, he said.
How long do we have before they come looking for survivors here? Lucas shook his head. They don't know about this place.
Not yet. That gives us time. Time to plan, to gather information, to figure out what they want and how to stop them. Maya set her bag down and started examining the walls. I might be able to rig some alarms, sensors, something that could tell us if they're coming near. Over the next few hours, the three of them worked quietly, preparing the bunker. Lucas went over maps of the city and surrounding areas. Ethan checked weapons and supplies. Maya worked on makeshift technology, combining what little human tools remained with scraps of alien machinery she had managed to collect. The small group was soon joined by others who had survived. Olivia Bennett, a medic, joined them first, carrying a bag of bandages and medical supplies. She had lost her family in the first attack, but her determination to help others burned bright. Others followed. Young men and women, some barely adults, all with nothing left but the will to live. Night fell, and the bunker became a quiet haven amid a world gone mad. Fires burned far in the distance, and alien ships glowed ominously in the sky. The survivors gathered to share stories of what had happened, of the loved ones they had lost, and of the terror they had seen. Ethan listened carefully, absorbing every detail. Each story was worse than the last, but they also revealed something unexpected. Humans had not yet lost hope. They still helped each other, still protected the weak, still found courage when everything seemed lost. Maya sat beside Ethan, her eyes fixed on a small light from her makeshift computer. If we can't fight them head-on, she said softly, maybe we can find a way to outsmart them. They are strong, yes, but they are predictable in some ways. Humans can learn, adapt, and surprise them. Lucas nodded.
And that's what we'll do.
We'll train. We'll gather people. And we'll strike where they least expect it. One day the Zyrathians will learn that humans are not weak. That we will fight, no matter the cost.
Ethan clenched his fists.
Rage mixed with hope. The thought of the alien machines killing innocent people made his blood boil. But he also knew that the small fire burning in him, the fire of determination, was something the aliens could never destroy. Outside, the wind carried the smell of smoke and death, but also the faint sound of life, of humanity refusing to die. In the bunker, the small group of survivors prepared for what would come next. They were scared. They were exhausted, but they were alive. And being alive was enough to begin the fight. Ethan looked around at the faces of the survivors, young, old, injured, broken, but still human. He knew the path ahead would be dangerous. They would lose people. They would face horrors they could not imagine. But one thing was certain. They would not give up. No one on Earth would give up. The first part of humanity's fight had begun. And when the Zyrathians thought the humans were weak, they would find something entirely different. Something they had never expected. Something unstoppable. The bunker was quiet in the early morning. The sun barely touched the forest outside, and inside, the survivors moved softly. Ethan Hayes woke first, his body sore from the night. He had hardly slept, but his mind was awake, thinking about what they needed to do next. The Zyrathians had destroyed so much, but Ethan knew that humans had something the aliens did not: heart, courage, and the ability to adapt. Maya Thompson was already awake too. She had unpacked her laptop and several small devices from her bag. Her fingers worked quickly, connecting wires, adjusting circuits, and writing codes on the screen. "If I can just get this to work," she said quietly, "we might be able to pick up alien signals. We can listen to them, maybe even understand how they operate."
Ethan leaned over her shoulder.
"Do you think it's possible?" "I have to try," Maya replied. "Humans can be clever. We can solve problems they don't even think about."
Lucas Grant joined them, carrying a map and a small notebook.
"If we distract it, we can slip past," she said. She pulled a small device from her bag and pressed a button. A small beep came from the device, and the machine's attention shifted. Ethan and Lucas ran quietly, grabbing the edge of the building. Olivia stayed close to Maya, helping her with the device. They reached the trapped survivors, 2 young men and a woman shaking with fear. "Come with us," Ethan said. "We'll get you out." The survivors hesitated, then followed. The group moved quickly, returning through the alleys. When they reached the safety of the forest, they breathed deeply, relieved. "You saved us," one of the young men said, tears in his eyes. "I thought we were finished." Ethan shook his head. "Ah, we're just getting started. Humans never give up." Back in the bunker, the survivors celebrated quietly. It was not a large victory, but it was proof that humans could fight back. Maya continued her work on the devices, learning more about the aliens every day. Lucas trained the new fighters, teaching them how to move silently, how to set traps, and how to work as a team. Days passed. Small strikes continued. The humans sabotaged alien supply depots, rescued captured survivors, and took back small areas of the city. Each success built confidence. The aliens were surprised. They had never expected humans to fight back after so much destruction. One evening, Ethan and Maya stood outside the bunker, looking at the sky. Alien ships moved slowly above, glowing with blue light. "They think we are weak," Ethan said. "They think we are scared," Maya nodded.
Let them think that. It will make our strikes more effective. We can use their overconfidence against them.
"Humans can think in ways they cannot. That is our advantage." Lucas joined them, holding a small notebook.
I've been keeping track of their movements, he said.
"They repeat patrols at certain times. If we plan carefully, we can strike one of their main supply lines tomorrow." Ethan felt a spark of hope. "Then that is what we do. We hit them, show them humans are not easy to destroy, and we save more people." The next day, the team moved out before sunrise. The forest gave them cover, and they approached the alien supply line carefully. Maya's devices helped them detect patrols, and Lucas directed the team, pointing out weak spots. When they reached the supply line, they saw alien machines moving crates of energy supplies. Ethan signaled to the others. Maya set small explosives on the crates while Lucas and Olivia kept watch. The first explosion was small but loud, drawing attention. Alien patrols ran toward the sound, and the humans moved quickly, hitting more crates, freeing captured humans, and disappearing into the forest before the aliens could respond fully. By the time the aliens realized what had happened, the humans were gone. The small group returned to the bunker, tired but victorious. They had saved 10 more survivors and destroyed critical supplies. Back at the bunker, the rescued people shared their stories. Families separated during the massacre had survived, hiding in basements, sewers, and old tunnels. Each story reminded the humans why they fought, why they could not give up.
Ethan addressed the group.
"Look at what we did today. 10 people are alive because we acted. Supplies are gone from the aliens. They will remember that humans are not easy to crush. Every small victory matters. Every life we save matters." This is just the beginning. The humans began to organize more systematically. Lucas set up training sessions every day. Maya worked on improving her devices, trying to hack alien communications. Olivia trained new medics to handle injuries and keep everyone alive. The strikes continued over weeks. Humans learned quickly. They set traps, created decoys, and used their environment to their advantage. They were slower, smaller, and weaker than the aliens, but their unpredictability made them dangerous. One night Ethan walked alone to a ridge overlooking the city. Fires burned far below, and the alien patrols moved like ants. He thought about the people they had saved and the people they had lost. His heart was heavy with sorrow, but it also held determination. Humans were not weak. Humans could fight. Humans could survive. And one day, they would take back what was theirs. Maya joined him at the ridge. She pointed at the city. "We are making a difference. Every strike, every rescue, it all adds up. They think they can control Earth, but humans do not surrender." Ethan nodded. "No surrender. Not ever. And when the time comes, we will show them that humans are stronger than they think." Lucas approached, carrying a small notebook filled with maps and notes. "Tomorrow, we strike another supply hub. It's more dangerous, but the potential reward is bigger. We free more people and take supplies they depend on." Olivia came last, carrying a small bag of medical supplies. "We have to be careful," she said. "Every strike has risk, but humans always find a way." The four of them stood together, looking at the city. Smoke, fire, and destruction stretched as far as they could see. But in that darkness there was light, small, fragile, but growing. The light of human courage, human ingenuity, and human spirit. And the Zyrathians, powerful and cruel as they were, had yet to understand the greatest strength of humans: the will to fight, the ability to adapt, and the refusal to give up. That night, the humans slept lightly, listening to the distant sounds of destruction. But their dreams were not of fear. They were of survival, of hope, and of revenge. They knew that every strike, every rescue, every small victory brought them closer to taking back their planet. And Earth was awakening. The nights had grown colder, but the fire of determination inside the humans burned hotter than ever. Ethan Hayes, Maya Thompson, Lucas Grant, and Olivia Bennett had seen what small strikes could do, but now they knew that survival alone would not be enough. They needed to hit harder, strike smarter, and show the Zyrathians that Earth would not bow. The team gathered in the bunker early one morning. Maps, devices, and scraps of technology were spread across a large table. Lucas pointed to a location in the city. "This is one of their main supply hubs. If we can destroy it, we not only slow their operations, but we also free dozens of humans who are trapped there. It will be dangerous, but the payoff is worth it." Ethan rubbed his chin, thinking. "The last strike worked because we were small and quick. This hub is bigger. There are more patrols, more machines, and probably traps. We can't just rush in." Maya adjusted her glasses and leaned over her laptop. "I've been analyzing their patrol patterns. They repeat shifts every 12 hours. If we go in just before a change, we can slip through more easily. I can also make devices to jam their sensors for a short time. It's risky, but it could give us the chance we need." Olivia nodded, organizing medical kits. "I'll be ready for injuries. If things go wrong, people will need help fast. We can't afford mistakes." Lucas drew a careful path on the map.
"We'll split into 2 teams. Ethan, you and I will lead the first group.
Maya and Olivia will provide support from a distance with jamming and medical help. We move fast, strike hard, and get out before they can respond." The humans spent the rest of the day preparing. Weapons were checked, explosives were packed, and every detail of the plan was repeated until it was memorized. The bunker, once a safe hiding place, became a war room filled with tension, fear, and hope. As night fell, the team moved toward the city. The forest gave them cover, and the shadows helped them move unnoticed. The streets were still scorched, buildings twisted and broken, but the humans moved as if they belonged. For them, the ruins were not just destruction, they were a battlefield, a place where humans would rise. When they reached the edge of the city, the first signs of the Zyrathians appeared. Small patrol machines moved through the streets like ants, scanning for life. Maya crouched behind a pile of rubble and activated her jamming device. A faint hum filled the air, and the patrol machine's sensors flickered. They stopped, paused, and then moved away, unaware of the humans slipping past them. Ethan signaled to Lucas, and they moved forward, silent and careful. Their path took them along rooftops, across broken bridges, and down alleyways. Every step was measured, every breath controlled. The city was a ghost of its former self, but the humans were alive, moving with purpose. When they reached the supply hub, the scale of the Zyrathian presence became clear. Large machines guarded the perimeter, and crates of alien supplies were stacked high. Humans could see energy weapons, tools, and other materials the aliens used to control Earth. Lucas whispered, "We split. Ethan, you take the east side. I'll take the west. We meet at the center. On my mark." Ethan nodded and moved carefully. He felt the weight of responsibility. Every step he took could mean life or death for him and for the humans trapped inside. He checked a small explosive, strapped it to his back, and moved closer. At the same time, Maya and Olivia stayed in a hidden position nearby. Maya's device hummed softly, interfering with alien sensors. Olivia kept an eye on the perimeter, ready to help anyone injured. The strike began. Ethan and Lucas moved quickly, placing explosives on key supply crates. Small explosions echoed through the hub, creating confusion among the aliens. Machines scrambled, some firing at empty streets, others moving in circles trying to locate the intruders. Humans trapped inside the hub heard the commotion. They saw the flashes of explosions and the shadowed figures moving quickly. One by one, they followed the human signal, escaping from the crumbling building and joining Ethan's team. But the Zyrathians were learning. Reinforcements arrived faster than expected. Machines with glowing blue sensors surrounded the hub. Ethan fired his pistol, more to scare than to harm. The small weapons had little effect, but humans knew they could buy time with noise and distraction. Lucas shouted, "Fall back! Go to the extraction point." The humans ran, carrying survivors and avoiding patrols. Maya's device kept jamming sensors just long enough for them to slip through the streets. Explosions from the supplies destroyed alien resources and slowed their pursuit. By the time the humans reached the forest, they were exhausted, but victorious. More than 50 people had been rescued, and critical supplies were gone from the aliens' control. Back in the bunker, the group celebrated quietly. There was no shouting, no cheering, only the relief of survival and the knowledge that their strike had made a difference. Ethan looked at the rescued humans, some crying, some smiling weakly. "You are safe now. Humans always find a way," he said softly. The weeks that followed were filled with planning and action. Humans became more organized. They learned to move in groups, to communicate silently, to use the city as their ally. Maya improved her jamming devices and even started creating small hacking tools to confuse the aliens' control systems. Lucas trained fighters, teaching them strategy, teamwork, and discipline. Olivia trained more medics, making sure that even if battles went wrong, humans could survive. Ethan watched the changes with pride. Humans were no longer just survivors. They were a growing force, clever, fearless, and united. One day, as the team gathered in the bunker, Lucas spread out a new map. "The aliens are regrouping," he said. "They are bringing reinforcements. They know humans are striking back. We need to be ready for more than small raids. We may have to hit multiple locations at once, or face a large attack ourselves." Maya frowned. "If we can hack their communications, we can confuse them. Make them think attacks are coming from one place when we strike somewhere else. Humans can trick them. They are strong, but they are predictable in ways we can use." Ethan clenched his fists. "Then that's what we do. We keep striking. We keep rescuing. And we show the Zyrathians that humans do not surrender." The next mission was more dangerous than any before. The team planned to hit an alien energy supply hub in the city center. This hub powered many machines and controlled surveillance for large areas. Destroying it would cripple the aliens' operations. The humans moved out before dawn, slipping through the forests and ruins. Their numbers had grown, and now 30 fighters moved as one, following Ethan, Lucas, Maya, and Olivia. Small teams carried explosives, others carried medical kits, and a few were scouts, looking for alien patrols. As they approached the city center, Maya activated her new device. Alien sensors flickered, confused by the signals. The humans moved quickly, spreading out to their positions. Ethan and Lucas led the first team, placing explosives on energy conduits and control panels. Small explosions lit the streets. The aliens responded quickly, firing energy blasts, but the humans were fast. They moved like shadows, avoiding patrols and rescuing humans trapped nearby. Olivia helped a young boy, guiding him through rubble and smoke.
"Stay close," she said, holding his hand.
We are going to be safe. The battle continued for hours. Explosions shook the city, and humans used every trick they knew: decoys, traps, and sudden attacks. Maya jammed sensors, allowing humans to slip past patrols. Lucas directed fighters, keeping them coordinated even under pressure. When the hub finally exploded, flames shot into the sky. Alien machines were destroyed, and humans cheered quietly, knowing the victory was hard-earned. More than 100 humans were rescued, and the city center was partially reclaimed. Back in the bunker, the humans counted the survivors. Each life saved was a victory. Each destroyed supply a message to the Zyrathians. Humans were no longer weak. Ethan looked at the team.
We have lost some people, yes, he said, his voice steady. But we are alive.
We are growing stronger. And the aliens are learning something important. Humans will fight no matter the cost. Maya nodded. They think strength is about machines and weapons. Humans have strength they can never understand: courage, creativity, and the will to survive. That is what makes us dangerous, Lucas added. And we are just getting started. The more we strike, the more they fear us. The more humans rise, the harder it will be for them to control Earth.
Olivia smiled faintly. Every rescue, every small victory, it builds hope.
And hope is a weapon humans always carry. That night, the humans slept lightly, listening to distant explosions and alien patrols. Fear was still there, but it no longer controlled them. They had learned, adapted, and begun to fight back with skill and courage. Ethan stood outside the bunker looking at the sky. Alien ships moved above, glowing and powerful. But humans had shown they could strike. The Zyrathians might be stronger, but humans were clever, brave, and unpredictable. And unpredictability, Ethan thought, was something no machine could ever fully control. Earth was awakening. Humans were awakening. And the fight for survival had grown into a war for freedom. The forest was quiet in the early hours before dawn. Ethan Hayes stood at the edge of the ridge, looking down at the city. Fires still burned here and there, and smoke curled into the sky like dark fingers. Alien machines patrolled the streets below. But tonight, the humans would no longer hide. Tonight, they would strike at the heart of the Zyrathians' operations on Earth.
Maya Thompson adjusted her devices one last time.
Her jamming units were charged, her small hacking tools ready. If this works, she said softly, we can shut down their defenses long enough to reach the command center. Once we do that, we can finish this war. Lucas Grant checked his notebook, filled with notes from weeks of reconnaissance. We know their patrols. We know their routines. We know where they are weak. Tonight, humans show them what they can never understand: courage and strategy combined. Olivia Bennett organized medical kits for the fighters. Her calm voice reassured the new recruits, many of whom were barely adults. We move carefully. We help each other. Everyone gets home. Ethan looked at the team. 30 strong now, each fighter carrying weapons, explosives, or tools. No one gets left behind, he said. We fight together. We survive together. And tonight, we show the Zyrathians that humans do not surrender. Not now. Not ever. The humans moved quietly through the forest, shadows among shadows. The city beyond was still dangerous, but their confidence had grown. They had learned to move fast, strike carefully, and adapt to every situation. Maya's devices jammed alien sensors, and Lucas's plan kept every fighter coordinated. When they reached the outskirts of the city, Ethan signaled the first move. Teams spread out, moving along rooftops, through alleys, and behind ruined buildings. Small explosives were set to create distractions.
Alien patrols paused, confused by the sudden noises. Humans slipped past, invisible in the dark.
The command center was massive, glowing with energy. Alien machines surrounded it, powerful and armed. Ethan, Lucas, Maya, and Olivia led the first team, carefully placing explosives near weak points. The sound of machinery and distant gunfire filled the air. Suddenly, a patrol machine detected movement. Its red eyes flashed and it fired a pulse that shook the nearby rubble. Humans dived for cover. Ethan fired his small weapon not to destroy but to draw attention. The team moved quickly, dodging blasts, and continued their approach. Maya activated her jamming device, and the sensors of nearby machines flickered. Confused, the aliens misread human movements, allowing the team to slip past. Lucas shouted directions, keeping everyone coordinated even under fire. Inside the command center, humans faced their greatest challenge. Alien machines were everywhere, patrolling corridors, monitoring systems, and protecting control panels. Ethan and Lucas led the way, using small explosives to destroy machines and open paths. Maya hacked terminals, shutting down alarms and opening doors. Olivia helped injured fighters, moving quickly and calmly. They reached the main control room. Energy pulses ran through the walls, and a large terminal glowed in the center. Ethan planted explosives while Lucas guarded the entrance. Maya connected her device to the terminal, sending a pulse that disrupted the alien network. Lights flickered, machines paused, and for the first time, humans had control over the enemy's systems. Suddenly, alarms blared, and reinforcements arrived. Alien machines swarmed the corridors. Ethan fired his pistol, then ducked behind a pillar. We rebuild, we protect, and we prepare. If they ever return, humans will be ready. They will never crush us completely. Olivia looked at the rescued survivors. Every person alive is proof that hope cannot be destroyed. Humans are stronger than fear. Ethan stepped outside, looking at the city. Smoke still rose in the distance, but the streets were quiet now. Alien machines were gone or destroyed. Humans had survived the impossible and taken back their planet. For the first time since the massacre, Earth felt alive. Birds returned to the forests. Wind blew through the broken buildings, and humans walked the streets freely. There was rebuilding to do, losses to mourn, and scars that would never fade. But humanity had awakened. Ethan thought of the people lost, the families destroyed, and the fear they had all lived through. The memory hurt, but it also strengthened him. Humans had survived horrors beyond imagination. They had adapted, fought, and triumphed, and they would never forget what they had learned. Maya joined him on the ridge. "We've done something incredible," she said. "Humans survived, humans fought, and humans won. We showed them that no force can crush the human spirit." Ethan nodded. "We did it together, and we'll keep doing it. Humans will protect Earth. We'll rebuild, and we'll be stronger than before. We will never surrender." Lucas approached, carrying a notebook with new plans for rebuilding. "We have work to do. But tonight, we celebrate the victory. Humans are alive, humans are free, and humans are awake. Nothing can take that from us." Olivia stood beside him, watching the city below. Every life saved, every battle won, every small step forward. That's what makes humans unstoppable. We are more than survivors. We are humans. The group stood together on the ridge, looking at the city they had reclaimed. Fire still burned, smoke curled, and the ruins were all around. But they had survived. They had won. Earth was theirs again. Ethan raised his hand, silently vowing that humanity would protect their planet. "No mercy, no surrender," he whispered. "Not now, not ever." And for the first time in months, the humans felt hope. Not the fragile hope of survivors hiding in fear, but the strong, blazing hope of a species that refused to bow. The humans had faced annihilation, survived impossible odds, and awakened. The war was over, but the lessons remained. Humanity had learned its strength, its creativity, and its courage. The Zyrathians would never fully understand humans, And that was the greatest power of all. Ethan, Maya, Lucas, Olivia, and the survivors stood together, looking at the sky. Stars shone above, clear and bright, a reminder that Earth was just one small part of the universe, but it was theirs, and they would fight for it, always. And as the first light of dawn touched the city, humans began to rebuild. They rebuilt their homes, their lives, and their planet. They remembered the massacre, but they did not live in fear. They lived in courage, in unity, and in hope. Earth had awakened. Humans had awakened. And nothing, not machines, not aliens, not the darkness, could ever take that away. The fight had ended. The humans had won. And humanity would never surrender. "We need a plan," he said. "We can't just wait here. The longer we stay, the more they think we are weak. Humans have to show them we are not easy to destroy." The group spent the morning preparing. Olivia Bennett checked supplies, sorted first aid kits, and patched up minor injuries among the survivors. Some were still young, barely adults, and their fear was clear. But Olivia's calm voice helped them feel safer. By mid-morning, they gathered around Lucas's map. "The city is mostly gone," he said, pointing to the red marks on the map. "But some areas are still untouched. Some small groups of survivors might still be alive. We can start small, hit supply lines, free captured people, take back what we can." Ethan nodded. "Small strikes, then bigger ones. Hit them where they least expected." Maya looked at the map. "I've been analyzing some patterns from the few alien signals I could pick up. They move fast, but they have habits. They repeat routines. If we watch carefully, we can predict where they will be and strike in small ways. Humans are not faster, not stronger, but we are clever. That can win battles." The first mission was simple. They would rescue a small group of survivors trapped in a collapsed building near the edge of the city. The building was dangerous, but it was also lightly guarded by alien patrols. Ethan, Lucas, Maya, and Olivia prepared carefully. They gathered homemade weapons, small explosives, and shields made from metal scraps. As they approached the city, the heat from fires burned their faces. Smoke made it hard to breathe. Ethan held his hand to his mouth, trying not to cough. "Keep low," Lucas whispered. "We need to move like shadows." They moved through alleys and behind ruined cars, avoiding the main streets. Then they saw the first patrol. Small machines, walking on 3 legs, with red glowing eyes, scanning for movement. Maya pointed at the machine. Lucas threw a small explosive, taking out several machines at once. The humans fought fiercely, each movement precise, each strike calculated. Olivia carried an injured fighter to a safe corner. "Hold on! You'll be okay," she said, applying a bandage to a burn. The fighter nodded weakly, then continued fighting once patched up. The battle raged for hours. Humans used every skill they had learned: traps, decoys, explosions, and silent attacks. Maya's devices jammed sensors just long enough for humans to slip past machines. Lucas coordinated movements, guiding fighters to weak points in the alien defenses. Finally, Ethan reached the central terminal. He looked at the controls, feeling the weight of the moment. "This is it," he said. "If we succeed, Earth is ours again." Maya nodded.
"I'm with you. Let's finish this." Together, they activated the explosives connected to the central terminal.
The command center shook violently. Lights flashed, alarms screeched, and a powerful pulse ran through the building. Alien machines froze, then collapsed as energy circuits failed. Outside, explosions destroyed the rest of the facility, taking out patrol machines and supply lines. Humans cheered quietly, knowing that the victory was hard-earned but complete. More than 200 people were rescued from the city center and nearby areas during the chaos. The aliens' control over Earth was broken, their machines disabled, and their forces in retreat. Back at the bunker, humans gathered, exhausted but alive. Many had been injured, but each life saved was a victory. Ethan looked at Maya, Lucas, and Olivia.
"We did it. The Zyrathians are gone, at least for now."
"Earth is ours." Maya smiled tiredly.
Ah! They thought they could destroy us, but humans are not just about strength.
We have courage, creativity, and the will to survive. That's something no machine can ever beat. Lucas nodded. And we are not finished.